that of Infamous, but I don't think Infamous at this point in time would just insta-lock that Baptiste. I mean, SNK may just be very, very comfortable on that Baptiste. It kind of paid off for them in that of the early game and into the mid game itself. The Ordain just put in so much work, but Lance, of course, would be a much better hero. So I think Lance would probably be banned out here, if not then Catherine that Quasar just pulled out, because if they do ban out that Catherine, Lance will be picked out by Infamous. If they ban out that Lance, then Catherine may just be picked out once again by the side of Infamous.
Yeah, I do think that Catherine would make sense as a pick. It's not necessary. They don't have to first pick Catherine. You could go for the Baptiste. You never know. Try out the strategy that was played against you, even though it didn't work. But yeah, I think Catherine does make the most sense as a pick because it worked for them last time in the comp that they ended up getting, and they managed to be able to outdraft just by having more flexibility. Speaking of flexibility, they're going to go straight for the glaive. So Impunity deciding that was banned away from them in the last game, they want to just first pick it this time, and that does leave Catherine open for the side of Infamous.
But Catherine definitely not prioritized, to be honest. She has not quite seen to be a presence in the meta of 2.8 all in all. We have seen an emergence of Finn as well. And Finn and Glaive, they work in contradiction against each other at least. But all in all, I personally think is a very good way to actually put them together. Glaive can punch you in, and if enemies run away from you, then of course you have the Finn's hook as well. So that is for the side of Impunity at least. But we do see the Catherine being picked up by the side of Infamous. I don't know how well the Catherine is being can be utilized in this particular game itself, because in the previous game you have a lot of CCs coming out from the side of Impunity, and thus the Catherine pickup makes a lot of sense. However, the side of Infamous, or rather Impunity, can just easily pick up that Finn and just nullify any merciless pursuit, any stance that Catherine can just put out in that early game, and thus you have that little edge, slight edge at least.
One thing to note about Catherine against Finn is if Catherine decides to stun Finn with a merciless pursuit, that does actually silence him, which means he cannot block when when Finn is in quote marks stunned. And so with most captains, you can't stun them then use your ult because they can block when they're stunned. Finn can't block when he's silenced. So that means that Catherine is actually able to get a guaranteed blast tremor without having to have a null wave if she's at point blank range with Finn, which is one interesting way that Catherine can work really well against Finn. And now obviously they have to consider the Cath-Baptiste combo, because if they don't ban it now, you're letting it through. Obviously Baptiste is countered, especially Crystal Baptiste, is countered by poke like Celeste and Scarf. We see the Petal ban, makes a lot of sense. Petal's a very strong hero, especially weapon, so you don't want to against it as a glaive, because afterburns are hard enough as it is to pump back a hero and not a minion. So imagine trying to not pump back a minion or a manion. It's just horrible to play against, and obviously that leaves through Catherine Baptiste. So straight away picked up. Their last pick's going to be like a Kestrel, or Weapon Idris, maybe a Ringo, or any weapon power carry, maybe Blackfeather. So you can pretty much the exact draft. Now on A side, pick up the Celeste or the Scarf, and probably you want to go Roam Glaive with a Blackfeather to make sure you're not countered by it.
Oh, but we are going to see a Finn. Like I say, it synergizes in a very weird manner. It's almost opposite attracts for the case of Finn and Glaive. So I reckon it'll be a weapon-powered Glaive. And of course, we have a Celeste being picked up by the side of Impunity. All in all, I really like that Impunity is just emphasizing and putting a lot of emphasis on CC heavy comms, whereas I mean we cannot discount that the OP comp of 2.6 and 2.7 will be that of Catherine and Baptiste, and we have a Blackfeather as well. So very good drafting. Very, very good drafting from both sides, but especially on the side of Infamous.
Personally, I was thinking if Infamous pick Blackfeather here, they've pretty much won draft. Yeah. Because Blackfeather can just dodge Finn pulls, dodge Glaive afterburns, then they crucible the Celeste core collapse and Blackburn stacks, and that would be a win condition for Impunity to try and execute on. They obviously have no poke, really, Infamous. They have Shingy has a little bit. He's kind of a mid-range mage on this Baptiste, but Celeste is a max range mage, and now SNK could be caught out. All 3 members of Impunity are rotating to him. DefQ has not picked an ability yet, so it looks like he's going to wait to see if Afterburns necessary. If not, pick up that Twisted Stroke. And yeah, SNK is a bit stuck, wants to pick up some Capture the Guard stacks, but doesn't want to die. So yeah, he's going to be very defensive, and I expect DefQ to pick up Twisted Stroke. Now he's going to go for Afterburn, so he's going to go very aggressive after this Treant, most likely. And Infamous have taken their backs together, so they could fight, because Shingy will be level 2 very quickly, whereas all the members of Impunity won't be. But they're still going to just not worth it. They took their back camps, and now going to push the lane up.
I must say, I really like Bakuto Finn, the teleporting animation, because he actually ate Suzy up. Just a fun fact, I just saw Quarter4 porting back, and I saw that little morph that comes out of a Bakuto Finn, and Finn plays with it for a little, and then eats it up. But anyways, Impunity, and we saw Quarter4 in this Finn before, and he generally plays very, very aggressively, as on Finn at least, in the game before this, or rather the last series at least, when Quarter4 was on that Finn. However, the side of Infamous, they can't really just push the early game, because we know when Baptiste has got empowerment, and you just need that, a little more CP damage overall as compared to Celeste, to put out a lot of damage when you're empowered with those bad mojos, and of course that Ordain as well. But a fight will be breaking out here. Yeah,
Boots was used by Shi and by Bluxty to try and chase and then to run away from that Elder Treant, and SNK is going very low. He's not anymore. Afterburn will punt him back. He will get the stun there onto Glaive. 1 stack, and SNK is going to fall. No, DefQ does not want to chase, but Quarter4 does. He's going to try and use his polite company. It's not quite enough. SNK with the Storm Guard to stay alive. DefQ couldn't chase, he left it to Quarter4. Quarter4 couldn't finish. Spaghetti with the plays, and he's going to try and go into Quarter4. That's very risky, because Bluxty is waiting in the bush. Full collapse is going to come down pretty soon, and Bluxty's going to try and just Spaghetti's trying to ring around the Rosie as far as he can. That's not great coordination. Afterburn out of the core collapse, but it doesn't matter. Finn just having a bit of a play with his moth, and he wants to port home, and he will be able to get home. DefQ will probably be okay as well.
Yep, unless SNK though runs out of Storm Guard, and that is what that happens. And I want to say it's very well played coming out from Impunity right there. But like you say, it was a lack of coordination there. Or the kill would be cleaner. But I'll have to take that back, because SNK, you have to take that back, because SNK actually manhandled DefQ on that Glaive and did take Glaive down.
Glaive slightly overstaying in the end. I was saying SNK wouldn't pick up the kill because I was expecting Glaive to just port home, but no, he decided that he could 1v1, and the answer was no. Quarter4 Flight Company going to bring DefQ back into lane. Really short cooldowns, respawn timers, and DefQ now is going to freeze the wave because he doesn't like Black Feather farming, so he's just going to stand there. Black Feather's actually farming really well. He was having a bit of trouble early on to secure the last hits, but now DefQ is like, nah, you're not going to farm well anymore. I'm just gonna freeze this lane, and you cannot chase because you haven't got your captain, and I've got Bluxty waiting in this bush for when you overextend for the minion, and that is going to be Horvath missing. Great feint of heart by Spaghetti to dodge the core collapse, and in the end, Infamous are okay despite that frozen lane from Impunity, and now we're able to farm up. DefQ wants to port home. He can't quite get Sword Blades yet, so it would be a bit of a waste.
Yep, and we constantly think that Blue City with that merciless pursuit, or rather SNK with that merciless pursuit onto Blue City, and we constantly think that Black Feather really needs to have that Rose offensive before he can just get away from team fights. But we see the feint of hearts used on Spaghetti in a very different manner, in a very defensive manner, just feint of hearting into a minion, and that way you can get out. And he dodged actually a stun, a core collapse coming out from Celeste as well, so very well played on keeping himself alive. But all in all, we are seeing a relatively passive game throughout between Impunity and Infamous, very much like the first game. They really just want to get their items up. They want to find the opportune moment to actually just go in and just destroy either team, whether Infamous onto Impunity or Impunity onto Infamous. But of course, all in all, I must say, like you mentioned as well in the draft phase, Spaghetti on this Black Feather definitely will be the deal closer, for the side of Infamous.
Yeah, definitely. And now Infamous looking to try and fight in this lane. Spaghetti, as you said, is not level 6. So now he is. Speak of level 6, and it will arrive Spaghetti now is able to dive in onto Bluxty so much more freely. He doesn't have to waste his Faint of Heart on minions to try and dodge Core Collapse. He can just dodge it. He's going to get a reflex block when he goes to shop next, but hasn't got it just for this fight. And there's no level 6s on Court d'Ivoire or SNK, and so no real need to fight at the moment. Infamous looking for a sentry, possibly. Shingy wants it, and Spaghetti and SNK are like, okay, yep, sure. We think Celeste is being greedy with the port. She wasn't, and this will be an easy sentry for Infamous. But what is Impunity going to do to counter that? Looks like they're going to push the wave in, and Glaive is actually going to rotate straight to the back camps of Infamous. A little bit of vision probably would have stopped that, but I think DefQ will easily be able to get away. There's really no chance of Glaive being caught out when he's in the enemy jungle.
Yep. It's either that or, the side of Infamous at this point in time really can just push into... Oh, but Chingy is back in the jungle. DefQ will be porting back unless Spaghetti... Oh,
nope. Wait, DefQ doesn't decide to port. That was very interesting from DefQ. He would have easily gotten away, but he decided now, I'd rather go to lane, actually. So if you're not going to face check the bush, I'll just walk past you and we'll be friends. So yeah, Spaghetti, you're going to go back up to lane. He's going to go Fade of Heart, actually, onto Bluxty. There's a res offensive to try and get in. He needs to get another charge to try and dodge any core collapse that will come out from Celeste. It's still available. Bluxty still nice and healthy. Fountain saved for both people. So just a bit of poke, I guess, from Black Feather, but he did use one of his ult charges. And the Fearsome Shade is available for Batiste. Catherine going to go in, stun on Bluxty. Spaghetti looking to go in. Nope, that's going to be the ordained onto DefQ, and he's going to wait for it to expire. Afterburn into the Solar Storm. That's going to be an easy kill. Lots of damage did go onto Bluxty by the bad Empower Bad Mojo from Batiste before he fell. Now Spaghetti looking to dive in. That's going to be Fate of Heart. He will dodge the core collapse with his Rose offensive, but it's not enough damage. Fountain used fantastically by Court d'Ivoire to keep Bluxty alive, and SNK was not as successful with Shingy. He did fall, and now it's down to Spaghetti. Going to be able to clear this wave, and he'll want to port home with about 1,500 gold. DefQ is there though. Spaghetti not going to even bother. He's just going to go straight towards Bluxty and then turn around and realise Bluxty got the tree in. Let's just fight. Let's just farm.
Oh, Court d'Ivoire in a very, very bad position.
Court d'Ivoire is Finn. Finn is slow. Afterburn is onto the minion. Not going to pump back Spaghetti or SNK, and now pull. There is Bluxty there. He could go for it. He's going to flare out SNK porting home, and it is going to pull it in. That'll be a dead SNK. Goodbye. Get yourself a Crucible, or else that pull is going to hurt a lot, especially onto Shingy.
But besides, that was an excellent pull coming out from Court d'Ivoire there just to secure SNK. Spaghetti might have an answer to this tart push coming out from Impunity. Yeah,
the pull just on the edge of its effective range, and that is a lovely Fearsome Shade to help Shingy secure the kill onto Bluxty. He actually silenced Finn with that fear so that he couldn't use his block. Well, he didn't have a fountain actually up, so nothing he could have done to help Bluxty stay alive. Bluxty is still going pretty glass cannon, which is risky, and now DefQ will be the next one to fall. Great push from Infamous. They need to back out of this turret range and then wait for the minions and now go in, and that should be an easy turret for Infamous. Court d'Ivoire is going to think about it. He's going to show himself. That's a horrible position for Court d'Ivoire to be in. SNK is going to try and go, but he's going to boots away, and Court d'Ivoire will be able to back off towards his team. It was very risky showing himself, but he manages to use boots and get out.
Yep, but one thing's for sure, Infamous, or rather the side of Impunity, really gets the power spike when Court d'Ivoire gets the level 8, or rather that overdrive on Quibble. That way, there's just 3 stuns that's coming out from the side of Impunity, and that basically might be able to lock Spaghetti, this very nimble Black Feather down. But all in all, very well played from Infamous. This exchanging turrets and or rather objectives for objectives, and looking over at the gold difference, not much of gold lead for the side of Infamous. Granted, they have got a 1k gold lead, but the next deciding factor will be this particular turret. If not, then a fight over gold mine. Shingy bootsing past Court d'Ivoire.
Yep, same thing that Court d'Ivoire did to Shingy. Shingy's boots through the whole team, and you're going to be okay. What do you think, Luxury, about the epic pick up of Catherine as a Crucible for the second item? Do you like it, or do you think it's not the smartest idea against the Finn? Because clearly SNK's trusting Spaghetti to Rose offensive and Shingy to block themselves.
Yeah, that is obviously what is going to happen, but maybe, the side of Infamous, what they'll do is basically just stun out Court d'Ivoire, silencing him that way, and just drop the silence down, and if that fails, there you go.
There could be an engage, and there will be on SNK. There's the Mushhammer, going to come down, silencing up Bluxty. That's not the target That is the target you want to focus down. That's not the target you want silenced if you're Impunity. And that's going to be onto DefQ. Lots of focus, and SNK is going to fall, going to take that next turret shot. But will it be for the greater good? Quarterback going very low. Most offensive. One more basic. Black Feather gets the ace. And Infamous looking to take one turret.
Yep, one turret, and probably the gold mine, if they can quite afford in terms of time-wise. They can definitely try to do it, attempt that gold mine, because the entirety of Impunity has to farm up, has to clear the lane at least, but they will just settle for that turret and just go back to shop. Very well played coming out from Infamous then, and then there you go, you know, Blue City was caught out there by the root of the minion, or rather the minion, the jungle creep at least, and then SNK just went in for that stun, and there goes Blue City from then. And so SNK just being very, very aggressive in terms of gameplay, and thus it suggests why the Echo is being picked up by the side of SNK and not that early Crucible. But honestly, thinking about it, SNK not really burning that Echo anyway, so maybe the Crucible will be coming in, will come in handy. But there's one thing that will be an up point for Spaghetti, is that Spaghetti really just wants to be in the midst of the fight.
Speaking of Spaghetti, he's going into DefQ in the middle of the fight indeed, and DefQ is most likely going to block the Finn force the cause with him. So Rose offensive, and that's a lovely fearsome shade onto Blukesty, taking on damage to the last timer, comes down, not quite enough damage to take Blukesty down. Double kill for Blackfeather onto the Finn, but Blukesty survives the Slither, and now this will be a gold mine. Lovely breaking point stacks built up by Spaghetti in that fight.
Yep, and like said, Spaghetti really wants to be in the midst of the fight anyway, so even if you do pull me into your allies, then good for me, right? Because I don't want to be far away, I'm not a mage, I want to be in your face, I want to be putting damage right onto your carries where they will be surrounding you, because as a Finn, you want your carries to be fighting around you, and that is what a Finn is for. You protect your Celeste by being this very thick wall, and you have Glaive just diving into the backlines, trying to take out Chingy on that mid-range mage, like you mentioned, but that is just not very workable at this point in time, because if DefQ do go in with that afterburn, punt, you know, all three members or one of the members of Infamous into, you know, his team, it will be like Quarter War with that false accord. And if DefQ do afterburn in just to get into the backlines, Infamous, or rather Spaghetti and Chingy, will be nowhere to be found, because both of them are very close range heroes. They want to fight up right in your face, and they don't want to be anywhere else but behind your bum or your face. So there you have it. So honestly, like you said, Infamous definitely drafted so much better as compared to, you know, Impunity right there. But, you know, then again, Quartervore really wants to wait for, you know, the overdriven Quibble. That way provides an extra layer of CC onto Infamous, and that way that might just change fights all around.
It definitely could. What we're looking for, and Blukesty able to port homes. Infamous did not spot that. Now Finn looking for the force to core. There's still no Crucible, but there is a no wave echo on Catherine already, and Finn is just not quite sure. He wants to manage to pull in Chingy, but not Spaghetti, and that was an interesting no wave. Just not up for another 30 seconds. Catherine literally using it and backing off. But I suppose it's on a reasonably short cooldown, so that's not too much trouble for Infamous. And now they're just going to rotate down. Blackfeather picked up a Soul Blade. That's really big. Blackfeather is almost fully built. Just needs War Treads. And SNK going to boots towards the wave. He really doesn't want to lose that turret. And SNK is probably going to rotate back down to shop to sell him. Actually, he bought tier 2 boots, so that was a bit of a waste of those boots. And Infamous just going to back off.
Yeah, but honestly, SNK will be looking to get the... Wait, 1 second. I am seeing a chronograph being picked up by
Contraption,
SNK right
it'll be into contraption.
Yeah, probably the contraption. Oh,
DefQ does get the turret. It block used by Spaghetti. The second block used by Spaghetti. DefQ. Wait. Then he's going to go for the second blast jammer. But that was nice play from DefQ. He waited for the block from Spaghetti. He waited for the Rose offensive, and then he punted him back. That's just so troll when you're playing Glaive and you just afterburn, you wait for the block and then punt them. It just feels bad to be playing against that. And Cordobois is the little troll himself. He is waiting for this gold mine. He's going to float out. He's got a force to core to try and pull back, and he's going to Solar Storm actually. Solar Storm, what a steal! The vision from Cordobois giving Blukesty the chance. Solar Storm for that immense gold payout.
Yep, very sad day for Infamous, but they'll probably just shrug it off with this Kraken coming up onto the fold, and they immediately pay attention to Kraken. I mean, why not? Solar Storm will not be up for the next 40 or rather 35 seconds, so they have all the time in the world. Had Quatervor tried to steal this Kraken, maybe it would be a big turnaround, but overall, because it was just a gold mine, this gave, you know, Impunity a slight, you know, soften the gold gap between Impunity and Infamous. I mean, it will not amount to much whatsoever. Infamous definitely looking stronger as compared to the previous game with this particular draft. I think it was just down to drafting all in all. In the previous game itself, we saw Infamous just losing out in draft, and in this game, they are looking just so much stronger because just down to draft. And of course, it's secured draft, basically Spaghetti secured draft with that Black Feather being picked up, going up against Glaive and Blue City on that Celeste.
Yeah, so Blue City now is fantastic at taking down Kraken, already down to almost half health. It looks like Infamous with the 15-minute Kraken are going to get one turret and then not much else. You really cannot push with a Black Feather and Batiste against Celeste, but they're going to try. SNK is going to go in. There's going to be a stun on Echo, second stun on Stefke, and the Ordained. He's just trapped. Lovely blast ram onto all three. Finn is silenced up. Black Feather tried to secure the kill, and it looks like Infamous actually going to be able to get 2 turrets with this Kraken push, but Impunity are just shot, and that's another stun on Stefke. He's going to block up, but he's not going to block the Fearsome Shade. Actually, Bluxty will be able to, and he's going to be able to afterburn into the base. Lovely Solar Storm doing so much work from Bluxty, and Infamous are in a good position to fight. Spaghetti going to get pulled in. That's exactly where he wants to be. He's onto Bluxty. The block on the Quibble. Spaghetti is staying alive, but he will die. Now Shingy trying to do the plays. He's got a bad mojo available. No, he hasn't got the energy using that Ordained. Now DefQ with enough when we blocked up. Shingy now does have to try and just basic attack for the win, but that's not how you play Crystal Batiste. DefQ with the ace and Impunity have a chance to turn this game around.
Yep, like said, Spaghetti really wants to be up front in person with Blue City and that Celeste. However, DefQ being left unchecked whatsoever, Chingy can only provide so much in on any team fights. All in all, very good fearsome shade, I must say, coming out from Chingy. However, it was blocked, if I remember correctly, or rather, if I did not see that wrongly per se. But DefQ will be able to secure the second turret of Infamous. SNK goes in with a merciless pursuit. Now with Gauntlet being used by DefQ, but DefQ will just stroll away with that afterburn.
SNK really wanted the Glaive, but I was wrong actually. Not a contraption picked up, an aftershock picked up for SNK to go for that merciless pursuit. Does count as a basic attack onto Bluxity because Bluxity has no defense at all. But I guess that could work well, and I suppose against the Finn, who needs Crucible? I guess because don't build Crucible against Finn if you're in solo queue. But apparently Infamous deciding it's just not worth it because he wants to be called in. He's going to be punted back. He's going to go defensive away. He doesn't want to quite fight because Batiste is not nearby. And no ultimates used for Impunity, but actually SNK did use did not use the Echo and did use the Blast Tremor. So that's now on cooldown for another 45 seconds. And Impunity could look to take a Kraken from this.
Yep, it's either they go for the Kraken and risk a steal coming up from Chingy with that fearsome shade, or a fight in general. But DefQ at this point in time really needs to be checked. SNKs and they are... Oh.
That's going to be the stun. That's going to be the Echo onto Bluxty on the stun. That's exactly how Captain so far. And the blast from it is 30 seconds. We're getting going in. Lovely fearsome gets both members of Impunity pulled back from the Finn. Forced a cord. Black Feather's going to get the kill easily onto Quatervoir. Finn tried to buy some boots and use them, but it was nowhere near enough. He's actually surviving for a long time. It's like he's got the legendary talent. 960 execute means you're not going to sustain through that. SNK picked up a Crystal Infusion, and Infamous need one more turret, then deciding not to win the game. They're thinking Celeste up in 20 seconds. Glaive is up. We're going to go for the safe option and try and get this Kraken. Glaive, no chance of securing this, stealing this given where he is. And Infamous looking like they could win this game.
Yep, if you were to ask me, I think with Finn's legendary talent, Quatervor wouldn't have died whatsoever. I've played against that in Blitz, and it was just an art of pain to go up against.
Spaghetti thinking about the wall jump, and SNK using boots. No, not quite. Just using Merciless Pursuit to try and come in and get a stun. But no, they're going to back off.
It was an art of pain to go up against. However, Impunity, or rather Infamous, might be that art of pain that Impunity will be facing now that Helga is up on the fold and pushing into the base of Impunity.
Bluxty can do a lot of damage. Can pull in onto Shingy and a stun for SNK. That is the Spaghetti was trying to go onto the Vein Crystal turret, but Bluxty is going to have to run away into the base, away from Spaghetti, and they're going onto the turret. And Shingy is available in the backline, but the Black Feather being Atlas fantastically, meaning the turret is not going to fall. Now it's gone down. Spaghetti is going to fall as well, and now DefQ is running onto Shingy, but the Kraken is bearing down onto the Vein Crystal. What will Shingy do? Go onto DefQ, and Bluxty gets a return onto Catherine, but will it be enough? Bluxty has not got energy with the double. Shingy doesn't get the triple. It doesn't matter. The game will go over to him.
Yeah, it will be going over.
He does get the triple anyway.
The triple going over to Chingy. Oh, wow, that was quite an amazing game, or rather the final moment of Impunity to have witnessed from the desk. And as casters, all in all, both teams played very, very well. But we will be heading into a third game to decide who will be first and who will be second in this current week.
I'm certainly excited to see the third game between these two teams. Shingy going for two feet, two boots. That's how you got to play. No, but Shingy had an extra slot and needed to have